Today's guest is none other than the community manager of Stackr. We will talk about the future of the platform, his view on digital collecting, and of course, we are going to talk about the OMI token. So, welcome, Simon. Great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, as you guys might know and might hear as well, Simon and I are both from the German VeVe community, but today we are, as you hear, we'll do it in English, so everybody can take all the nuggets with them. But before we go into Stackr and the community questions that some of you have shown me or messaged me on X, Simon, just give me and the listeners a rough overview. How did you become the community manager of Stackr? What was the journey?
So starting with my VeVe journey, or
Yeah, I mean at the beginning. Yeah.
my collecting journey probably started with trading cards. So I come from a trading card background, which is also what got me into VeVe through some loops. A friend of me, which I was buying and selling cars from, he told me about the VeVe app. He said if I like collecting, I should give that a look. And I jumped right into it and was basically hooked from the beginning. I think that was like April 21.
Yeah.
And that was also what got me into crypto ultimately. So OMI was the first token. I think it's the same for many people in the community.
Definitely. Yeah.
OMI obviously didn't went too well at the beginning, but I'm really happy that it opened all the crypto space up to me. And then I think my first contact with Dr. Profit was when I sold him some golden moments back then.
Which one? Do you still know which ones?
Just a partner statue, I think, was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
With special mint or anything, or just a regular partner statue?
Just a regular partner statue. I think it was an OTC deal for USDT, and I used that money to buy some other VeVe stuff, pretty expensive as well. So but anyway, that was the first contact. Because of course I wanted to have proof like that I'm not scammed, and then he screen recorded his collection and sent the video to me, and that was basically all I needed to see. Okay, he's the real guy.
Yeah, he's legit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then the first time we met, I think at the comic convention in 22, I think, the first one that VeVe attended. I missed him at the rooftop party, but then I messaged him and said, yeah, it would be nice to meet up, basically. And then he took like an hour the next day, and we met in his hotel. And talked about a lot of stuff, his vision, what he was excited about on VeVe and stuff like that. So that was basically the first time we made real contact. And then over the years,
was it clear back then for him that he wanted to build a second or a marketplace for VeVe, or was it just some thoughts around it, and he shared his vision with you?
I think it was mostly about digital collectibles in general, or licensed IP, NFTs. He already back then he was talking about AR goggles and stuff like that. So pretty early in catching all the trends, I would say. It wasn't like about the marketplace, because I think back then there was talks of interoperability and stuff like that anyway. I'm not sure time-wise, but it took some time from then, but that was the first time we made contact, and then we've been in touch over the years until I think like October last year. Basically he approached me and said, because he already knew that, of course, the IP release was coming. So he said he wanted to ramp up the social activity a little bit around Stackr. Just to get out the word, stay in touch with the community, gather some feedback, stuff like that. And yeah, basically that's what got it started.
If you're new to VeVe and haven't signed up yet, it would really mean a lot to me if you do so with my affiliate link. Through that, you are not just supporting me, you also get 10 gems for free to kick off your digital collecting journey and grab your first digital collectible. And now, back to the video.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, nice. Basically, out of a friendship and a shared passion for VV collectibles and digital collecting in general. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. And I mean, I was
Yeah.
always like looking to get involved somehow with working with the VV community. And I think that was the perfect opportunity for me to get something I really have passion for going while also maintaining my normal business job, I would say. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. I
the
mean,
perfect mix. Yeah.
for now, let's see how all this
Yeah.
goes, and then maybe one day full time just community manager, and that wouldn't that be nice? I mean, that would be a cool job if it pays well. But yeah. Before we go further and into specifics around Stacker, for those who are new, just give a quick overview. What is Stacker actually?
So if I had to put it in my words, I would say Stacker is the bridge that bridges the gap between VeVe and the Web3, or at least that's the approach. So basically, it's a marketplace that enables buying and selling VeVe collectibles for now for Omi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for now, just for Omi, but
Yeah.
we will get into that later. And going back to talking about your role as a community manager. I mean, you've said a couple minutes ago you've always wanted to be like involved into VV digital collecting and that whole ecosystem. And with the job as a community manager of Stacker, you found a good way to do so. But what would you say is like the most important part as a community manager? And where do you see like parts where you can make an impact on the overall development of the community, of the marketplace, whatever?
Yeah, I would say the most important part as a community manager is to ensure that, basically you are the ear for the community and you hear about problems, concerns, or features that are requested, and just build up trust and show people that actually you have a pretty cool product and encourage them to use it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it sometimes frustrating to hear like all the same stuff over and over again? Because I mean, for example, making offers. That is something the community wants for so long, and I guess you maybe you probably have like hundred of those requests on your table, right? Like something like that or so.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's a little bit, hard sometimes to hear the same stuff over and over again. And also at the same point, I'm not able to provide a concrete timeline as for now.
Yeah.
But I also get that. I mean, it's the same for me. Like, I really love VeVe, but I don't have time to watch all the content that's created. So, it's totally understandable that some people miss an interview or miss a statement and they haven't heard
100%.
about that the feature is coming, for example, and that's why they're asking it. And of course, impatience as well maybe might have you ask
Yeah.
again and again, and that's really legit as well, I would say. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's frustrating. Maybe it gets a little frustrating over time, but at the same point, I know what's being built in the background. And yeah, ultimately, I think everybody's going to be satisfied, and especially the people that have been into VeVe for like 3 or 4 years should have learned some patience by now. And
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
we really want to stick to rather over delivering instead of giving out timelines and pushing those back. So so at the moment it's some kind of weird situation because users might not see that much of a development on Stackr. So what's happening at the moment is basically that the platform that exists is being maintained, I would say. And of course, if we run into major bugs or stuff like that, we try to fix that as soon as possible. But you shouldn't expect like new features like offers and stuff like that being released on the current version, because in the background a whole new version is being built that will include all the most requested features. And I think we should have them all rolled out at once. So that's basically what we are not getting tired of telling the people. Just stick with us, maybe already get used to Stackr and selling crypto. And then just wait and see, and I think you'll be satisfied.
Have you seen a lot of Stackr version 2 yourself already?
I'm not involved in any of the development, of course, on the tech side. So, but from time to time,
you know the features they are working on, or most of the features.
I think it isn't a secret to this point that I think Dr. Profit said it in Lisbon as well, that his goal is really to make VeVe Web3 through Stackr. So we already talked a lot about the most requested features, of course, like self-custody, interoperability, which also basically includes transfers, but also the features that other NFT marketplaces have, like sweeping, making offers, stuff like that. So we're looking into that, and of course, ultimately, we want to provide the best user experience possible, and we know, and we listen to what people request and what they really want. So the requests are being heard, and we try our best to roll it out as soon as possible, and from there on, we'll make smaller steps and keep on improving.
So, in short, really exciting times ahead with the Stackr version 2. Whenever that version comes out, but as you said, the VeVe community already is patient proof. So I guess that shouldn't be a problem. But
I think we're trying to bring out some updates on that matter as soon as possible. Like I said, we don't want to rush things. We want to make it right from the beginning, but we also want to get it done as soon as possible. So don't hold me down on it, but I would say maybe Q1 of 2026 should be doable. Maybe even earlier, but it's too early to tell at the moment. But as soon as we can put out some rough timelines, and as soon as we can talk about the features and specifically, we will do so.
Really excited about that. But in my opinion, for now, Stackr is already a good platform. Obviously, there's some features missing, but I think like the trading experience is quite good on there. And also, I really like that Stackr is sponsoring the gas fees. I mean, that's really nice. But on that front, how does Stackr make sure that it is a safe trading experience? You know what I mean by that question? So how does Stackr ensure that everything's running smoothly and there are no, I would say, risks of being hacked or something like that? Because I mean, there are a lot of funds, for example, OMI in there. I know we could take our OMIs out there in self-custodial, but just give us a rough overview of that, please.
I think so the thoughts behind this are, on the one hand, we want to ensure the funds are safe and nothing goes wrong. On the other hand, we want to make the experience as smooth as possible. So that's kind of tough to navigate sometimes. But yeah, basically, I think Stackr is also a preview wallet, which is pretty much up to date security wise. And of course, with crypto, you can never be like 100% certain, but I think you can minimize the risks. For example, when setting a 2FA to your email. So that's basically what we encourage users to do. Just take the same measurements, or take the same steps you would do for your self-custodial other crypto wallets, and then you should be fine. I mean, at least the collectibles are safe. They can't go anywhere for now. So that's not that big of an issue. But yeah, so that's what we.
Is it sometimes harder for Stackr to implement stuff for VeVe because they are working with those big licensors and those big brands, or is it Stackr talking to VeVe, or is it Stackr talking to VeVe and Disney and Marvel, or is it the way through VeVe when they want to build some stuff on Stackr?
I'm not 100% certain, but pretty much 99%. From my understanding, all the talks to licensors and stuff like that is done by VeVe, because ultimately they signed the licenses, and they have to navigate if the license allows it or not to be traded on Stackr, and Stackr just basically does the rest of the work. But there is no direct talks to the licensors on VeVe.
Yeah. Okay, got it. In terms of licensors, I mean, there are a couple of licenses that are not on Stackr yet. Lamborghini, for example, but you couldn't probably say something to that, right?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting topic, and something that I would love to have addressed as soon as possible from the VeVe end as well, because I get the question a lot as well, and I can't give any answer on it. Yes, again, from my understanding, is what Dan and David said in Lisbon, is that every IP should be tradable on Stackr soon, and apparently sometimes it's just paperwork that has to be signed, and maybe they're too busy doing it. I don't know, but it's not anything that Stackr can do something about.
Yeah, got it. So over, I guess, 2 weeks, the leaderboard challenge on Stackr is out for 2 weeks, and we've seen an uptick in user engagement on Stackr. A lot of friends from the German community who were like, "I will never use Omi." Now I see has listed did for Omi. So, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's a great incentive to bring people onto Stackr and introduce them to more of the crypto side of VeVe and the whole ecosystem. And on that part, do you know if there will be more kind of that gamification in the future to enhance user engagement?
Yeah, I think that's also the main point about the leaderboard, is just to provide some sort of gamification, and maybe also get users, if they're uncertain or haven't done it yet, just to give it a try and compete maybe and use it. So we're also really satisfied on how it went, because we saw a big uptick on transactions as well. So I think, I don't know if there's a next leaderboard challenge right away, but I do think that there's a lot of ways we could do some gamification and stuff like that. So I would expect more of it. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun and it's working, right? So, for example, this week, our friend from the German community, Ferryman, took the first place and won this week's leaderboard challenge. Congratulations on that side. And also, I guess we saw like, was it 5 or 7 million OMI tokens burned in 1 week, roughly? I mean, that's not that bad. What is your opinion on current burns?
Yeah, I think obviously the price being low helps the burns. So people tend to always say like we want to have the price stay down. Yeah, it's nice to see OMI burned. I mean, obviously it's not that big of an amount if you compare it to all the circulating supply, but
yeah,
I would say people are worrying too much about the burns at the moment. So just have fun with the OMI, forget about the burns, and they will continue to improve and happen over time. So, and ultimately, I think as soon as we have the gem removal and basically every user is forced to use Stackr, at least if they want to cash out, then we will see another big uptick in traffic. Yeah, so there probably will be a lot of more ways to get OMI burned. But of course, it's nice to see it going. And I'm also very happy that we finally got like some button to share on X.
yeah,
if you
that's
made a transaction, I mean,
feature.
it's not that big of a deal, but it keeps popping up on the timeline, so that's pretty sweet. I like it.
Yeah. That's definitely that. I used that feature. Was it yesterday or the day before? I listed like 3 or 4 items for sale. So guys, go check them out. I want them sold for OMI. But I really like it. It's Stackr is that's what some of our friends from the German community said who tried it out for the first time. It's easy. It's really easy to understand. It's just a few clicks. And I mean, transacting with OMI, a few clicks, listing, a few clicks, and also like the feature with the sharing through X. I mean, that's so nice because I mean, then you can definitely make your listing obvious. Because beforehand, when I've listed something, I took a screenshot, posted it on X, wrote a text on it, and now you have a direct link to it, and I think that's great. But you've said in the middle of November, is it 18th, 19th November? I'm not quite sure about that.
19th, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So after this date, the only cash out option is through Stackr and through OMI. In the community, we sometimes hear the concern that OMI fluctuates. What would you say to that? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, OMI fluctuates. I would say basically it's the same like any crypto. Maybe with OMI at the moment, one of the problems is that the liquidity isn't as thick as some people would like it. So like huge buys or sells can have a big price impact. And I know a lot of people asking about, can we just list for a fixed price in USDC or instantly have it swapped afterwards or stuff like that. Probably that's not going to happen, but what we're hoping to implement on the next version in Stackr is that you can just choose other cryptos to list or to buy stuff. For example, you could just list in USDC right away, and then you make sure that you get the dollar amount you're looking for.
Yeah. Can you already reveal which, besides USDC, will there be an Ethereum one or Solana, Bitcoin, or can't you say anything on that?
Yeah,
To
it's
cash
like,
out.
it's like nothing is confirmed or anything. So just ideas that are tossed around, but I would expect at least USDC and ETH to be used. So the nice thing about that is that even if other cryptocurrencies are implemented, Dr. Profit made it pretty clear that OMI should have some sort of special place. So the idea with implementing other currencies would be that the user doesn't need to know anything about it, but in the background, some portion, some percentage from USDC, for example, would then be used to buy and burn OMI. So
yeah. So the constant OMI burns are still secured, even though you've transacted or list and buy and sell with other digital currencies. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's great, because that was one of the really big concerns, that OMI will be left behind, and obviously it will not be. But on that front, I've received the question. We have the staking on Stackr, with the 10 million limit. I guess you can't really say anything to that, if there will be higher staking levels and stuff like that. Do you know about that? That's probably on VeVe's side, or is it on Stackr's?
No, that's at the moment it's totally up to VeVe or Ecomi side. Yeah, nothing that Stackr is doing in that regards currently. I mean, for typical crypto staking, it's a little different with OMI anyway, because it's, first of all, it's only some sort of soft staking mechanism. So you can basically withdraw your OMI anytime. A lot of other crypto or platforms have like an unstaking penalty, or at least a threshold where you have to wait a certain period of time. But yeah, that's probably an interesting question for Foster maybe, or for VeVe. I don't know who's exactly in charge, but I would also say around $3,500 dollar worth of staking isn't that much in crypto. So I would personally also love a higher staking tier. But yeah, nothing that Stackr has any say in.
Yeah. But I mean, for now, it's 3,500, no? Because if the price appreciates, 10 million OMI could, no financial advice, but could potentially be could be worth way more. Damn. Yeah, that was hard here on my end, but yeah, let's move on. Is there anything that particularly excites you about Stackr and Stackr's future that you haven't been asked today from my side, or in the stream you did with Inform Mint? Anything that was left out that's important to you?
Not that I would say. I mean, overall, I'm pretty excited about it, and basically can't wait to see when it goes live, because it's hopefully it is what we've all been waiting for so long. So basically, there's nothing more to be excited about except what I already said. Yeah, but it's gonna be pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Will there be an easier way to connect VeVe and Stackr? So will there be, for example, the option to list in OMI directly out of the VeVe app, or do you have to go this little step further and go from the VeVe app into Stackr? And by the way, will there be an Stackr app, which would be a great idea in my opinion, even though maybe on version 2 or so?
Okay, so first of all, I think it should become easier to link the accounts. Of course, because sometimes it's really nasty if you have to reconnect and need another email, code sent, and stuff like that. So that's in the works. It's also the main point why some people, for example, have struggle with listing or delisting items sometimes, because it's so complicated how everything works in the background, but it's the only way it can be done at the moment. So that's for the linking. What was the second question?
The second question was if there would be a way to list directly from the VeVe app in OMI on Stackr.
There might be, But again, everything that's on the VeVe app, that's totally up to VeVe. I'm not sure if it could be done at the moment. It would be really convenient if so, but I can't say anything about it on
Okay,
that
got it.
point. And
Yeah.
for the Stackr app, I think quite a lot of people use Stackr from the mobile, so it would be pretty nice to have an app. I'm not sure if it is planned, but I would say the main development focus at the moment is to get it all rolled out, and then maybe down the road there can be an app. But
Yeah.
no plans as far as I know at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it works totally fine through the browser, right? Because I use it on my phone all the time. I never use it on my laptop, so it works seamlessly in
Sometimes
my.
it's a little annoying if you have to scroll sideways to check some prices.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I think that's the main point, and I think everything else, if you just log into to make a purchase, you can use the search function and just go for it. That works pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
So probably everyone would agree that the main focus should be on rolling out the next version instead of developing an app. But I wouldn't say it's off the table respectively, but not a priority as of now.
Yeah. I mean, that's totally fair. We've already talked about that a few people who were always, I would say, against using Omi now started to use Omi through Stackr. But there are still a lot of people who haven't interacted with Stackr or with Omi. So what kind of advice would you give those people who are still not sure if it's a good thing or not?
Yeah, it's a little funny because I think what every Omi holder wants is to give as much as utility as possible to Omi. For my understanding, that also means that you somehow have to spend the Omi. I mean, it only gains value if people are getting comfortable with using it. I think there will be some great steps in the future. I think VeVe also announced that you could buy physical products for Omi directly. So that's another nice step. I think what's holding back some of the people is, of course, if you bought Omi when it was a lot higher, then maybe it hurts spending it. And you know that you like spend 10K on your 1 million Omi or 10 million Omi, and then it's suddenly a really expensive partner statue, for example. But I think that's basically just a feeling. Maybe it will go away or price goes up again and you start getting comfortable again. I mean, on the other hand, it's pretty nice for the people that DC8 on the lows because now they get to double the value. So it's, I think, on both sides. But my advice would be start getting comfortable with Omi, because basically if you stick around, there's not much way around using the token, I would say. I mean, there's talks about drops being done in Omi only, so that's another point. And once the Omi to Gem feature is live, then if the only thing you use Omi for is swapping it to gems to maybe buy drops on VeVe, that's still a first step. So you just get exactly the amount of dollars if you put fresh money in. I think that's pretty fair as well. But I would say start getting comfortable with the thought of spending Omi as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. And for those who think that Omi is an investment vehicle with the potential to go up, because I'm a little bit in that camp. I have a hard time spending my Omi. Obviously, because I bought some of that way higher than it is right now. But I was able to dollar cost average, as you said. But I'm still not 100% sure if I really want to spend it. I'm definitely in that camp, but as you explained, I mean, there's probably no way around it. in the future. But we will see. For now, I'm getting as much OMI as possible, and then we will see.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, you're also not missing out if not spending OMI, right? It's
Yeah.
totally fine to keep it. Just like I said, down the road, there might be drops done only in OMI, or yeah, you have to use OMI some time to cash out. So I mean,
If
nobody
they drop
forces.
on Goku for an OMI only drop, then I will definitely spend it.
Yeah, I think the talks was like that they will try with VVIP first, maybe, just
Yeah, I
to
mean,
ensure that.
mhm.
But down the road, who knows? Yeah,
Yeah,
anything's possible.
I mean, they definitely have to test those OMI only drops, right? I mean, you don't want to do it with a big IP. If that if something went wrong on that, that would be not good, to
Yeah,
say at least. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or maybe with the, I mean, we've already heard that was a comment I got on X. Maybe a Stackr logo for Omi or something like that. That would also be a really interesting draw. I mean, then we would have the VeVe logo, the Akomi logo, and the Stackr logo. That would be great, in my opinion.
yeah, it's also an idea that I brought to the table really early, like end of last year as well. I thought it would be like a nice idea if Dr. Profit had like 500 logo cards to give out exactly like the gold and silver logo.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's certain reasons I can't elaborate on why it hasn't been done, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and also maybe could hasn't been done yet, so it's not off the table, but it's like nothing you should expect suddenly popping up at the moment.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, no worries about that. Um, And in the overall digital collecting world, do you think the next step is to get the crypto people in because they already know and appreciate NFTs, or do you think over the next 1 or 2 years we could see like some kind of mass adoption just in general?
I mean, best case scenario is we get a little bit of both. So I would say obviously the crypto people would be those that collect or buy from an investment point of view mostly. I would
Mhm.
assume at least. Um, and I mean, I can relate to that because for me it's a lot easier spending crypto than spending like fiat money for certain
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to happen, and that's where like buying and selling for stable coins or ETH could be a catalyst, because they wouldn't want to bother swapping big amounts to a token they don't know. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so that would be a pretty cool way around to get those people involved. But I also think that a lot of physical collectors might get more and more open to the idea of digital collecting because basically most, if not all, brands are going in that direction.
Mhm.
And also the younger generation, like the 16, 18, 20 years old, for them, it's just going to be normal to collect
Yeah.
digitally. So, yeah, I hope and I would assume that we get some of both through, which would be awesome.
Yeah. 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 I mean,
And also
that,
the VeVe approach of doing more and more digitals, yeah, giving people the opportunity to buy the digital or physical and getting the counter piece is also a great
Mhm.
piece.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that as well. And as you said, I think it would be a great step to get a little more the Gen Zless in here because for them, digital items, skins, etc., already have value, even though they are not NFTs or like even though they don't really own them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great step.
And
But
so a lot
before,
one thing is that a lot of people were skeptical about the gems being removed for payout and that it takes away from the Web2 people, and I would disagree on that because it's like only a hurdle for those people that are in VeVe at the moment and not into crypto. But any new user will just think it's normal because it's always been that way for him. And there's tons of people spending, like you just said, a lot of amount of money on gaming skins or whatever without even having the option to sell them for money. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And my understanding, for example, V-Bucks or Robux is exactly what VeVe now tries to do with gems, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What is like your opinion? Why do you think that VeVe is outsourcing like the whole payout process over to Stackr? What could the reasons be for that, in your personal opinion?
First of all, I think maybe the whole Stackr thing. I think it started from a legal standpoint that we just couldn't implement crypto pay in pay out at that point. So sourcing it out was a smart move, I think, just to get it done as soon as possible, and also to bundle the resources. And from my perspective, or just personal opinion, I think it's a great move for them business wise, because basically any gem that's been bought is instant cash, which is basically what you want to have as a company. And also, people shouldn't forget that as long as VeVe does the payouts, I would say they have to hold back a certain amount of cash to be able to process whatever amount there is in liquid gems in basically 1 to 3 days. So
Yeah.
it should free up a lot of cash reserves that VeVe has at the moment.
Yeah. Totally get it. Okay. That were like my questions, but I've also asked the community on X what kind of questions they want to hear. So I will just quickly grab my phone and read those questions to you, and then we will see if there. Oh God, there are definitely a few more now than before. Wait a second. Okay, so. Question number 1, that is from Nathan. What are the top priorities for Stackr World's development over the next 6 to 12 months, especially in terms of new features like enhanced leaderboards, community tools, or integrations with other ecosystems? I guess that would be most of that question we've already covered. But the integration with other ecosystems, is there anything on the horizon that you know about or could talk about?
Well, it depends on the horizon, I would say. I mean, obviously, the first goal is to get everything in regards of VeVe up and running as soon as possible. Then, if you have established a platform with certain unique selling points, maybe that make it interesting for other ecosystems or so, I wouldn't put it off the table, but it's not like a priority that's being focused on at the moment.
Yeah.
But if so,
Okay.
the cool thing would be that every transaction would burn OMI. So
Yeah.
something maybe on the far horizon that's pretty cool to look forward.
Yeah. But not for now. Yeah. Okay, the next one is from Mark Online, and feel free if there are definitely some where I'm pretty sure you can't say anything to them, or it's just
No
not.
worries.
Yeah, okay. So, Mark Online, can we someday gift a collectible to a friend with redemption code through Stackr without the need to KYC as a receiver? The receiver could be a miner that just want to enjoy the AR feature that VeVe offers and not want to sell the collectible. I mean, it's a great idea in my opinion, but yeah, what is your take on that?
So yeah, I think one point that is discussed a lot within the community is the transfers and bring those back. I mean, obviously at the moment with the payout and stuff, it's I think tough to argue that. you should have it, but of course, like interoperability and making transfers is also part of crypto and NFTs, basically. So the main hurdle on that topic is that you have to pitch it to the licensors, like because basically any transfer means that the licensor is missing out on their share of the fees. So there are some ways to, I would say, work around it, but to deal with it. One thing could be that you basically have to pay a certain amount of fee for transferring. Could either be a fixed price or some percentage of the average price of the last days or whatever. You could also take the approach and say everybody's able to whitelist a certain amount of wallets. For example, if you have 3 kids and a wife, you could say I'm whitelisting their accounts and I can transfer back and forth between those accounts. So that's basically where the thinking goes. So it's a point that we are looking into, but no concrete plans or nothing that we can confirm at this point.
But wouldn't we run into the same problem with the licensor fees if self-custodial becomes a thing?
Yeah.
Or would that be a workaround as well?
I mean, self-custodial doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to pay any fees. I would say it's just you can. Nobody can take it away from you, but as soon as you want to sell it, for example, you could have some sort of royalties enforced on chain, for example. Yeah. So it wouldn't take away from that point.
Okay, but couldn't I just send it from my self-custodial wallet to another one? Would there also be then probably fees involved? Would there fees be involved?
Yeah, if you're looking like a transfer, then yeah. I think that's the. I mean, never say never, but I wouldn't think that an IP like Disney would sign off on that. So
would be kind of stupid by then.
Yeah. Also, I think the fees aren't the main point why people want self-custody. It's basically more the security point that, for example, nobody can, lock your wallet. For example, and VeVe can lock your account if you violate the terms of service. So that would be the biggest security concern. And why crypto people want self-custody is that nobody can take it away from you. And you can always interact with it and ultimately send it. But of course, with all the big IPs, I think, I mean, you could build a system that way, but then again, you want all the IPs to sign off on it. So have to find a good path.
Yeah. Okay. On to the next question from Nathan. What's the toughest criticism you've heard about Stackr World or Omi, and how do you address it?
You mean Stackr or Omi? I think because Omi is like not at all on my end, so I wouldn't elaborate on that.
Then let's go for Stackr, yeah. But I mean, I would be interested in the Omi criticism as well.
I think Stackr. There's a lot of there was some talks about security or on stock transactions or delisting bugs, for example, stuff like that. I mean, I get that it's we try to resolve that as soon as possible. Sometimes it's not on the Stackr end, but also has to do on some delisting that's going on in the background on VeVe or stuff like that. So some of those points are hard to grasp maybe for outsiders because like listing or delisting an item, and I agree on that, shouldn't be that hard of a thing to do. And of course, if you have the price fluctuating, then it's frustrating if you can't list or can't delist. that's the main point. I think. I mean, if there were any major bugs where people really lost funds or whatever, I'm pretty sure you would have heard about it somewhere. But yeah, the support team is really doing a great job in answering as soon as possible. I would say. I think there were like 2 or 3 occasions where people lost a lot of money on swapping because the provider had issues and picked the wrong liquidity pools. So yeah, people only got a tenth of the amount that they should have got, but they were reimbursed. So it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. But isn't it shown before you swap what you get?
Yeah, I think it was shown in the first place, or maybe just people ignoring the slippage warning. I'm not sure, but that's why we implemented the threshold that you can't swap 10 grand at once, but yeah, just a certain amount. And people complain about that a lot as well.
Right?
Sorry?
Is it 1,000 euros? Dollars?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people complain about that a lot. I get that it can be inconvenient, but at the same point, Stackr is sponsoring the gas fees. So
yeah,
saving money for us was the higher priority than having just a small group of people being able to swap, I don't know, 5 or 10 grand at once.
Yeah. Okay, next question from in Ecomi We Trust. Oh, that's the questions regarding the staking tiers, if there will be a higher one than 10 million. Yeah, we've already talked about that. Then another one of the German VeVe crowd, Enno, level 100, by the way. When Stackr logo drop, we've talked about that, but I've seen on Twitter that he now has a matching VeVe gold and silver and Ecomi logo, and I guess he is eyeing for the Stackr logo with the same mint, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool matching the mints. I try to track down all of my Ecomi logos matching, but they're all stuck on inactive accounts, so
Yeah,
no chance.
Okay, damn it. Then we have Wes. When Omi only drop? I mean, we've talked about that, but how should you give a timeline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't elaborate.
Yeah.
I think maybe
totally.
it's also a decision mainly made by VeVe. I think technically it would be possible, but of course you have to wait for the right timing and maybe some stuff that VeVe has to figure out first. So also like Stackr can decide to do an Omi only drop for anything that's supposed to be on VeVe as well. So
yeah, totally get that. Wes, again, we need the option to burn collectibles for Omi. I mean, that's not the baddest idea. What do you think?
And where should the Omi come from would be my question.
Fair point. Yeah, fair point.
What I would see as a cool feature, it's maybe down the road if you could burn collectibles to get MCP, but also not sure if that's anything that's been planned. But then again, also that would be for VeVe to discuss.
Yeah.
Stackr can't hand out MCPs, so
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Next one by oh god, the name Granison Prime, I guess. Is there a way to show how much in dollars you bought the collectible for with Omi? For example, if the Omi price changes, then unless I write it down somewhere, I lose how much I actually spend on it.
yeah, that's a fair point, I would say.
I mean, maybe a good idea to pass on, right? I mean, we haven't spoken about that. Where can people send their ideas and their feedback directly to you, or is there a support page on the homepage somewhere?
You can always send it directly to me, but you can also just go to the homepage and then send an email from there. So
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good question. I think it becomes a lot more relevant once everybody wants to cash out through Stackr. Then yeah, you should somewhere see the dollar amount. I'll pass it on.
Yeah. Then next one, the Crane Mountain. When will we damn it, sometimes English, man. When will we be able to buy Lambos with Omi? I mean, we've talked about that already. You can't say, but you guess that's just paperwork that has to be done.
Yeah, I mean
With that?
that's just my guess. I think what I would personally what I would love you to do is just address the topic and say that we are aware that it's a concern for a lot of people. I mean, obviously you could still work around it by selling a Lambo for gems and buying something different for gems and then sell that for Omi, but ultimately you would want to have it addressed and have a statement on that as soon as possible. I totally understand.
Yeah. Then we have a couple of questions we've already addressed. Calc or so. Can we have a double burn weekend type event every so often to burn twice as much Omi, similar to Call of Duty double XP weekends? I mean, that's not in your hands, right?
But yeah, but it's a nice idea. I mean, I think there's if you really look into it, there's a lot of ways that you could gamify leaderboards or the transactions. So yeah.
Okay, then we have a question
but, just again on that, sorry. I mean, again, for that question, the Omi has to come from somewhere. So either it's people
more
paying
fees.
more or receiving less. So basically, I mean, maybe you could think about somebody from Ecomi or I don't know, the business development wallet or anything matching the burns, maybe that. But besides that, it wouldn't make too much sense. Or you could just ask users to send their Omi to the burn wallet directly. So
Then Stefan Wolters, if it's is it in the plans to have a buy offer button on the floor price of a collectible so the seller can instant sell at the floor price?
yeah, that's one of the main features that has been requested a lot, and that also for me makes a lot of sense to have because ultimately that's the only way to grasp the true value of your collection. I mean, yeah, at the moment it can vary a lot if you have some items that basically aren't listed or just flex listings or whatever. But ultimately, you want to know for any kind of stocks, crypto, or whatever, and most of the other NFTs, you have that feature, so you know how much and at what price you can basically instantly sell your stuff for. So yeah, that's one of the features we really look to implement.
Okay, nice. Great to hear. Great to hear. And then the last one from Rocky NFT. If they can add a favorite option and a filter the show only favorites when you look at recent listings and sales. That would be a good one as well, but sounds like something that might be in version 2 of Stackr, or?
What exactly, like favorites list? You mean a certain amount of certain collectibles, or?
I guess he means like, okay, I just my favorites are Partners, Miles Morales, A Few Golden Moments, and AF-15 or so. That you then see those only or so.
Yeah, well, you can filter for each collectible. Not sure if it really makes sense to have an extra feature for that, just to bundle it, because you can already have it for each collectible. If you, for example, want to look at the recent tot sales, you can do that. But yeah, maybe if it's a feature that's requested a lot.
Yeah. I understand it. I understood it like this. So you go into your favorites, and then you have those listed and directly with the floor price behind it, so that you don't have to look up each collectible individually. That's what I took away from that question.
So basically, like a wish list, maybe, or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess
yeah.
that's what he meant
Okay,
with
yeah.
that.
Then I maybe got it wrong. Yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, we will look to push out the main features in the first place and go on from there and gather
Yeah.
feedback again and see what the community really wants, and then do our best to implement, for example, stuff like that. But to be honest, I would say it isn't a priority at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Simon,
Uh,
those were all the questions I had. Those were the questions the people on X had for this conversation. And yeah, thank you so much for being here and answering all those questions for me and the community. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
yeah. Thanks for having me, and anytime again. Maybe if there's more details I can give out, then we can do another
Yeah,
session. I mean, I can
I
give
would.
you my one of my priority features. I think it's hardly talked about, but I'm not sure if
Mhm.
it's actually in development. But it would be a really cool thing to have down the road if MCP gets more utility. I would love a feature that knows your collection and gives you the best MCP to OMI possible. For example, the tool could show you or knows that you only need one collectible to finish a set, or for example, point out
Mm.
certain comics that you're missing and that are really cheap. That's something I would think that a lot of people would use, but of course, it's
Yeah.
also probably a lot of development effort would go into it. But that's
Yeah, it
like my
sounds a little bit sounds like a lot of development efforts, but also, as you said, I guess that would be a nice feature because I mean we have definitely a lot of people who are on the lookout for like the best MCP strategy or whatever. I mean, the first person who comes in mind is our friend Felix from the German community. I mean, he is such an MCP nerd. I mean, I've never talked to someone who is like that into the MCP strategy. But yeah, Simon, as I said, thank you so much, and I would love to have you on again when we can maybe talk about a few things and talk about a few developments on the version 2 of Stackr. That would be awesome. And yeah, guys, for all of those who are still watching, please let us both know what you guys think about the discussions and the different points we talked about. And I also think that you would like this interview as well. So check it out and see you guys next time.